Alex had never considered life on the colony to be anything but routine. On the edge of human space, where the barren red soil stretched for miles, and the wind carried faint alien scents, life moved slowly. The humans here preferred calm, predictable days, especially Alex. Engineering work, maintenance, and the occasional supply run filled his schedule. Nothing exciting ever happened. At least, that's what he thought. The day began like any other. Alex sipped his morning brew, a hot, bitter beverage meant to wake the senses, while checking the colony's daily supply list. Packages were due from the trade station, and everything had to arrive on schedule. Nothing could go wrong. Or so he believed. The first hint that the day would be different came in the form of a strange shadow at his doorstep. Alex looked up and froze. There, hovering just above the ground, was Zyra, the alien mail carrier. She was a tall, lithe figure, her skin a shimmering cascade of colors, almost like liquid light. Her eyes glowed faintly, and thin, translucent wings fluttered behind her in a gentle, irregular rhythm. Usually, Zyra was efficient, polite, and entirely professional. Today, however, she seemed distracted. "Morning, Alex," she said, her voice melodic, carrying a strange echo that made him tilt his head, but something in her tone was off. She wobbled slightly in the air, then swirled around in a wide loop before landing with a soft thump, her wings brushing against a crate and sending it skidding across the floor. "Zyra?" Alex asked cautiously. "Are you okay?" Zyra blinked rapidly, her colors pulsing in quick flashes. I'm fine," she said. But the way she hovered, unsteady, told a different story. Alex frowned. Zyra had been the colony's mail carrier for over a year. She had never once delivered a package late or misplaced an item. She knew every route, every resident, and every delivery protocol by heart. Something was different. Before Alex could ask more questions, she zipped past him in a blur, almost knocking over his tool rack. "Package for Sector B," she shouted, almost like a cheer rather than a delivery announcement. The crate she carried shimmered oddly, floating above her hands, then dropped with a loud clatter onto the floor. Alex rushed forward to steady it. "Careful! That's fragile," Zyra giggled, a sound that reminded Alex of wind chimes caught in a breeze. "Oops. Sorry," she said, her eyes glowing brighter. "I'll be more careful." But as she darted off, a stack of envelopes she carried burst into the air, scattering like birds. Alex groaned, rubbing his temples. He had a feeling this was going to be a long day. By mid-morning, the situation had escalated. Zyra's deliveries were erratic. Some packages were sent spinning into the air. Others hovered and refused to settle, and one even clung stubbornly to Alex's shoulder for several minutes before he could coax it off. Her movements were strange, unpredictable, almost as if she were distracted by something important. "What's going on with her?" Alex muttered to himself. He had worked with Zyra long enough to recognize her usual efficiency. This was entirely new. Later, while checking his own workshop, Alex noticed Zyra hovering nearby, humming a soft, rhythmic tune. He had never heard her hum before. It was mesmerizing, though slightly disorienting, like a gentle vibration in the air. He watched her for a moment, realizing that her colors were brighter, more intense than usual. They pulsed in patterns that made him slightly dizzy. "Zyra, are you feeling okay?" he asked again, this time more firmly. She stopped humming and tilted her head, wings fluttering nervously. I think so," she said, though her glowing patterns betrayed a nervous excitement. "It's just something in the air, something personal." Alex raised an eyebrow. "Personal?" Zyra glanced away, her colors flashing erratically. Well, it's mating season." The words fell into the air, almost shyly. Alex blinked. Mating season? He had heard of the concept in alien biology classes, but never dealt with it firsthand. "You mean it affects your behavior?" Zyra nodded. Yes, it's natural. I cannot always control it. Her colors rippled, flashing bright pinks and blues. I try to stay professional, but sometimes I can't. Alex felt a mixture of sympathy and exasperation. So that's why everything's gone crazy this morning. Yes, Zyra exclaimed, spinning in a loop before hovering upside down for a moment, as if showing off. I'm very distracted, and I cannot help it. Alex pinched the bridge of his nose. He had to adapt quickly. The colony depended on these deliveries, and he couldn't have scattered packages or floating crates causing chaos everywhere. He decided to focus. Okay, Zyra, I need you to calm down. Can you do that? Zyra's wings drooped slightly, as if weighing the request. I will try, she said. But her erratic pulsing told him it wasn't that simple. Over the next few hours, Alex found himself in a constant game of adjustment. Packages that were supposed to go to Sector A ended up in Sector C. One delivery to the central trade hub briefly floated outside the colony before he managed to catch it. Zyra followed him around like an excitable pet, her colors flashing in rapid patterns, her humming growing louder when she got excited. Despite the chaos, Alex began observing her more closely. He noticed patterns. Certain sounds or gestures seemed to calm her. A gentle tone, a careful hand on a crate, even a soft, steadying presence helped her stabilize, if only for a few moments. He realized that if he stayed calm and predictable, he could guide her through her distraction. By noon, the colony's main square had become a scene of organized chaos. Residents dodged floating parcels, children laughed at envelopes that refused to land, and Zyra buzzed from one spot to another, colors flashing like a living neon sign. Alex was in the center, moving quickly, catching packages mid-air, adjusting trajectories, and occasionally speaking softly to Zyra. Easy. Steady. That's it, he murmured as she hovered nervously, a box spinning near her hands. Her colors shifted from frantic reds to calmer greens. Zyra glanced at him, eyes wide, as if impressed. You understand me? She asked, her voice soft. Alex shrugged, trying not to smile. I've worked with you long enough to know when you're stressed. Just focus on the delivery, and I'll help with the rest. Her wings fluttered, and for a moment, she hovered almost perfectly still. Alex allowed himself a small sigh of relief. Perhaps he could manage this after all. By late afternoon, a critical delivery arrived, a shipment of sensitive equipment needed for a nearby research station. Zyra's distraction posed a real risk. Alex instructed her carefully, giving clear, simple steps. She followed him closely, though her colors flashed with nervous excitement. Together, they navigated the equipment to the shuttle bay. Zyra handled the crates carefully this time, though a stray box wobbled dangerously. Alex caught it mid-fall. Not bad, he said, offering a small smile. Zyra's glowing patterns shifted into a playful swirl. You helped me, she said. And you almost destroyed half the colony, Alex replied, half joking, though his tone was forgiving. She giggled, a sound that echoed gently in the air, like wind over glass. I cannot help it, but I am grateful. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the barren landscape in hues of pink and gold, Alex felt a strange sense of camaraderie. Zyra's mating season was unpredictable, chaotic, and frustrating, but it also revealed a different side of her. Her vulnerability, her trust, and her reliance on others. Alex realized that life on the colony might be chaotic, strange, and sometimes overwhelming, but perhaps, with a little patience, it could also be extraordinary. He glanced at Zyra, hovering nearby, humming softly, colors slowly calming, and thought that maybe this was just the beginning of an adventure he had never expected. The day had been long, exhausting, and full of chaos. But Alex felt a small thrill in the unpredictability. One thing was certain: life with Zyra, especially during mating season, was anything but boring. And that was something he could not have predicted. The morning sun crept over the horizon, casting long, orange shadows across the colony. Alex groaned as he stretched, already dreading the day ahead. Zyra had slept, or at least hovered quietly through the night, her colors dimmed to soft blues and greens. It was a brief relief, but he knew it wouldn't last. Mating season had a way of making her unpredictable. Sure enough, before Alex could finish his first cup of morning brew, a soft hum filled the air. The hum quickly turned into a high-pitched trill, accompanied by flashes of pink and bright yellow across Zyra's wings. She hovered in the doorway, arms full of envelopes that floated and twisted in a chaotic spiral. "Good morning, Alex," she chirped, her voice bubbly, almost musical. "Packages for everyone." "Let's start." Alex rubbed his eyes. "Good morning," he said cautiously. "But before you start, slow down. Take a deep breath." Zyra's wings flickered, and she attempted to hover still. But a small breeze, or perhaps her excitement, made her sway. One envelope escaped her grasp, spun into the air, and landed on the roof of Alex's workshop. He sighed. Of course. He grabbed a long pole and fished the envelope down. Zyra tilted her head, watching, her colors pulsing softly. "You help me?" she asked, her voice almost shy. "Yes," Alex said firmly. "I help, but you need to focus." Zyra blinked, wings twitching nervously. I try. I promise." By mid-morning, the colony had descended into a mild frenzy. Zyra zipped from one sector to another, dropping packages mid-flight, chasing floating parcels, and humming strange tunes as she worked. Alex found himself constantly moving, intercepting wayward deliveries, redirecting packages with a careful hand, and occasionally speaking soothingly to Zyra. "Steady, steady," he murmured as she hovered too close to a stack of fragile crates. Her wings flared, sending a small gust of wind that threatened to topple the stack. Alex lunged, catching it just in time. Zyra's eyes widened. "Wow! So fast!" Alex grunted. "Focus. You too." Despite the chaos, Alex began noticing small patterns. Certain gestures calmed Zyra like a steady hand on a crate, or a calm tone in his voice. Certain movements made her more excitable, like the sight of a shiny surface or a reflective tool. He quickly realized that understanding her behavior was key to surviving the day. He guided her through the main square, teaching her to release packages one at a time, always with clear instructions. Zyra nodded enthusiastically, though her colors pulsed wildly with each attempt. She was intelligent, observant, and eager to learn. But her biology often got in the way. By late morning, the most critical shipment of the day arrived, a crate containing sensitive equipment for a distant research station. Alex knew this delivery could not fail. He positioned himself beside Zyra, giving calm, precise instructions as she carried the crate in her arms. "Left. Now up. Steady," Alex directed, his tone firm but gentle. Zyra's wings flared nervously, but she obeyed. The crate wobbled dangerously, but did not fall. Alex caught it just before it hit the ground. "You always there," Zyra said softly, colors dimming to a softer glow. Alex shook his head. "I have to be. This is serious." They reached the shuttle bay, where the research team awaited. Zyra gently lowered the crate, her wings quivering as she hovered. Alex noticed her colors flashing a faint pink, a sign of relief or embarrassment, he wasn't sure which. "You did it," Alex said, offering a small smile. Zyra tilted her head, her wings flickering nervously. "We did it," she corrected. The team cheered lightly, patting both Alex and Zyra on the back. Zyra blushed, if an alien could blush, her wings fluttering nervously. Alex noticed, a small grin tugging at his lips. She might be chaotic, unpredictable, and a little overwhelming, but she cared deeply about her work. After the delivery, Alex and Zyra retreated to the edge of the colony to catch their breath. Zyra hovered quietly, wings folding in a tentative rest position. Her colors shifted slowly, calming from the frantic pinks and yellows to gentle greens and blues. You handle all this chaos," she said softly. I could not do it alone," Alex shrugged. You don't have to, but you do need to pay attention. Mating season or not, some things cannot fail. Zyra tilted her head, then floated closer. I try. I promise. Her glowing colors flickered with nervous energy. Alex laughed softly. I know. I can see that. Just try to stay calm when it matters most. She nodded, humming quietly. Alex realized that the humming, while distracting, seemed to calm her slightly. He wondered if it was a natural instinct, some way for her to regulate emotions during mating season. It was strange, chaotic, and beautiful all at once. By afternoon, Zyra's excitement returned. Perhaps it was the sun reflecting off the colony's metal surfaces, or the sight of the children playing near the market square. But her colors pulsed rapidly, bright and intense. She zipped past Alex, leaving a trail of floating envelopes and parcels in her wake. Zyra, watch it! Alex called, chasing a crate that spun dangerously close to a food stall. The stall's owner yelped as Alex intercepted the crate mid-air. Sorry, Zyra cried, hovering near the roof of the market. Her colors were a dazzling mix of orange and pink, flickering faster than Alex could follow. Alex sighed, wiping sweat from his brow. This day was never going to end, was it? But even in the chaos, he felt a strange thrill. Zyra's energy, her unpredictability, her biological excitement. It was maddening, but it also made him think, adapt, and act in ways he never had before. Focus, he muttered to himself as he leapt to catch a spinning package. Focus and survive. After several near misses, Alex realized something important. Zyra wasn't careless. She wasn't unskilled. She was simply herself, with instincts that humans couldn't fully understand. And instead of being frustrated, he found himself adapting to her behavior, learning to anticipate it, and even enjoying the small victories when a package landed safely. By late afternoon, the final delivery for the day approached a large shipment of supplies for a neighboring settlement. Zyra hovered nervously, wings trembling. Alex took a deep breath. Okay, Zyra, one more. Focus, step by step. She nodded, colors flickering with tension and excitement. Together, they moved the packages, carefully navigating obstacles, wind, and gravity fluctuations. A stray gust threatened to send one box spinning into the canyon beyond the colony. Alex lunged, catching it just in time. Zyra's colors dimmed slightly, a sign of relief. You did it, she said, voice soft and almost shy. Alex smiled, exhaustion evident in his posture. Yes, we did it. But remember, Zyra, next time, take it slow. Mating season or not, chaos is no excuse. She giggled, a musical, sparkling sound that echoed in the empty square. I try. You help me. You understand. For the first time, Alex realized that this chaos, while exhausting, had created a bond. He didn't just help Zyra survive her mating season. He learned to work with her, anticipate her behavior, and even enjoy the unpredictability. Humanity, he thought, thrived in moments like these, adaptable, compassionate, clever, and unafraid to face the strange and unknown. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and violet, Alex stood beside Zyra, surveying the quiet colony. The day had been long, exhausting, and full of surprises, but it had also been full of small victories, laughter, and the thrill of unpredictability. Zyra hovered quietly, colors calming to a soft, gentle glow. Thank you, she said, voice barely above a whisper. For helping me, Alex smiled. Anytime, Zyra. But remember, next time, try not to nearly destroy the colony. Len. To hear. She giggled again, and Alex realized that chaos could be beautiful, if only handled with care, patience, and a little human ingenuity. And for the first time, he thought, He might actually enjoy the next delivery day, even if Zyra's mating season turned the whole colony upside down. The next morning, the colony seemed deceptively calm. Alex arrived early at the supply hub, hoping that Zyra's mating season had passed enough for her to regain some composure. He had barely finished checking his tools when a familiar hum filled the air, a sound that made him tense instantly. Zyra appeared, hovering with an intensity that immediately set his nerves on edge. Her wings vibrated rapidly, and her glowing colors pulsed in bright, erratic patterns, reds and oranges dominating, signaling high excitement. She zipped past him, almost colliding with a stack of supply crates. "Good morning," she chirped, her voice musical but wild. I'm ready," Alex groaned. "Ready for chaos, maybe," he muttered. He adjusted his sleeves and followed her, bracing for the day ahead. By mid-morning, the colony was again a whirlwind. Zyra's movements had grown faster and more erratic. Packages floated in spirals, crates tipped dangerously, and letters skidded across the floors in dizzying patterns. Children giggled and screamed as envelopes danced around them like playful sprites. Alex was in constant motion, intercepting falling boxes, redirecting airborne parcels, and speaking soothingly to Zyra. "Calm, steady, watch the crates," he instructed, as he dove to catch a package mid-spin. Zyra's wings beat frantically, and a gust of wind sent another box tumbling. Alex lunged again, narrowly saving it. "You, so fast," Zyra exclaimed, colors flickering rapidly as she hovered nearby. Alex shook his head. "Focus." "You too." Just as the day seemed manageable, a warning siren echoed through the colony. Alex froze. The storm alert system was active. A sudden weather anomaly was approaching. A violent windstorm that could tear through the settlement if not addressed immediately. "Zyra," Alex shouted, pointing toward the storm warning console. "We have to secure the shipments and the settlement. Now." Zyra's wings fluttered nervously, and her colors shifted to a worried violet. "Storm, I can help," she said. But her usual erratic excitement made her movements unpredictable. Alex took a deep breath. "We need to work together. Calm down. Follow my lead. And we can get through this." The storm hit faster than expected. Fierce winds swept through the colony, rattling buildings and sending light crates spinning into the air. Alex grabbed a large package, shielding it as Zyra hovered nearby, her wings beating frantically. Letters and smaller parcels swirled in the wind, some nearly knocked from her grasp. "Hold it steady," Alex shouted. He lunged to catch a crate before it slammed into a solar panel. Zyra adjusted her position, her glowing colors flickering with intense focus. I try," she called, struggling to maintain control against the wind. Together, they moved through the colony, securing supplies, tying down crates, and sheltering delicate equipment. Alex noticed something remarkable. Despite her erratic behavior, Zyra was clever and resourceful. She used her wings to redirect lighter parcels into safe areas, shielded floating envelopes with precise movements, and even helped push a heavy crate into a sheltered area by creating gusts with her wings. "You smart," Alex said breathlessly. Dodging another flying package, Zyra blinked, colors dimming to soft greens. "I have to be," she admitted, struggling against the wind. Hours passed, and the storm grew stronger. Alex and Zyra were soaked in sweat and rain, exhausted but relentless. At one point, a massive gust sent a shipment crate spinning toward the canyon's edge. Alex sprinted, grabbed it mid-fall, and barely kept his balance. Zyra hovered nearby, colors flashing with fear and exhilaration. "You saved it," she shouted. Alex grunted, adjusting the crate in his arms. "We saved it. Together." As the storm raged on, Alex began noticing subtle changes in Zyra. Despite her frantic energy, she was learning from him, adapting to the chaos with increasing efficiency. Her colors shifted in complex patterns, almost like a silent conversation. Alex realized that her mating season distraction had a positive side. It made her hyper-aware, faster, and surprisingly courageous in the face of danger. "You're amazing," Alex said, shouting over the wind as another gust threatened to scatter parcels. Zyra blinked, a momentary hesitation in her colors. You think so? Yes, Alex replied firmly, diving to catch a falling crate. Keep moving, keep steady, and we'll get through this. By late afternoon, the worst of the storm had passed. The colony was battered, but intact. Crates were secure. Parcels were collected. And Zyra hovered wearily. Wings drooping from exhaustion, Alex stood beside her, mud and rain soaking both of them. You did it, Zyra said, voice soft and tired. We did it, Alex smiled, brushing rain from his brow. Yes, we did it. And I have to admit, you were incredible out there. Zyra's colors shifted slowly, from frantic reds and oranges to calm blues and greens. She floated closer, wings trembling slightly. I could not have done it alone. You guided me. Alex shook his head. I just helped you focus. You faced the storm. You made the right moves when it mattered most. For the first time, Alex felt a deep respect for Zyra, not just as a mail carrier, but as a capable, intelligent, and brave individual. He realized that her unpredictability wasn't weakness, it was a form of strength. As they walked back toward the colony's main hub, Alex noticed Zyra's wings slowly stabilizing. Her colors flickered softly, reflecting the fading sunlight. I thank you, she said quietly, for everything. For helping me, for guiding me, for trusting me. Alex smiled. You did most of the work. I just made sure you didn't fly off a cliff. She giggled, a musical, sparkling sound that seemed to brighten the gray evening. Alex laughed softly, realizing that despite the chaos, they had formed a bond stronger than words. In the middle of a storm, with the colony in danger and Zyra in the middle of her mating season, they had worked together, relied on each other, and survived. That night, as the storm clouds cleared and the sky revealed a scattering of distant stars, Alex sat outside his workshop, watching Zyra float nearby. She hummed softly, colors calm and steady. It was a rare moment of peace, and Alex allowed himself to relax. You know, he said, glancing at her, you're not as bad as I thought. Well, not entirely. Zyra tilted her head, wings twitching slightly. Not entirely? Not entirely, he repeated, a small grin tugging at his lips. You're actually impressive, and a little crazy, but impressive. She blinked, a soft blush in her glowing colors. I think I like working with you. Alex laughed quietly, shaking his head. I think I like working with you too. But maybe next time, try a little less chaos. Zyra giggled again, a sound full of warmth and mischief. I will try, she promised. Though Alex knew her mating season wouldn't allow full control, he appreciated the effort. As they sat together, sharing a rare, quiet moment, Alex reflected on the day. Humanity thrived on courage, adaptability, and cooperation. Zyra had tested every bit of his patience and skill, yet he had risen to the challenge. Together, they had faced a storm, chaos, and uncertainty, and survived. That was something he could be proud of, and maybe, he thought with a small smile, that was what HFY humanity, was truly about, facing the impossible, adapting to the strange, protecting others, and discovering unexpected bonds along the way. Zyra's humming grew softer as she settled nearby, wings folding slowly. Alex looked at her and felt a strange sense of camaraderie, knowing that tomorrow would bring new challenges, new deliveries, and perhaps more chaos. But now, he felt ready. For the first time, Alex understood that life on the colony wasn't meant to be predictable or calm. It was meant to challenge him, to surprise him, and sometimes, to teach him about courage, patience, and the unexpected joys of working with someone completely different. And with Zyra by his side, even if she was in the middle of mating season, the days would never be boring. The next morning dawned bright and calm, a sharp contrast to the storms and chaos of the previous day. Alex sipped his morning brew, quietly surveying the colony. The sun glinted off the metallic surfaces of buildings, and the red dust sparkled faintly. He allowed himself a brief moment of peace. Zyra appeared not long after, her wings flicking gently as she hovered into the supply hub. Her colors pulsed softly, a mix of calm blues and greens, with faint hints of pink, the telltale remnants of her mating season. She seemed more composed than before, though still carrying that energy that always made Alex alert. "Good morning, Alex," she said cheerfully, her voice melodic but grounded. "I feel better today." Alex nodded, smiling faintly. "I can see that. Looks like your mating season is winding down?" She twirled lightly in the air, colors shimmering. "Yes, I think so. I'm more stable now. I hope to deliver packages without chaos today." Alex chuckled. That would be a welcome change. The day started smoothly at first. Packages were delivered efficiently, letters reached the correct addresses, and no crates floated or spun uncontrollably. Alex found himself relaxing slightly, even enjoying the rhythm of a calm day. Zyra seemed more confident, yet still carried that spark that made her unique. By mid-morning, however, a new challenge appeared. The colony received urgent news from the neighboring settlement. A minor landslide blocked the main supply route, and essential medical and food shipments were delayed. The settlement depended on Alex's colony for immediate aid. Alex glanced at Zyra, noting the flicker of concern in her colors. "Looks like we have work to do," he said. Zyra's wings fluttered energetically. I can help. I want to help." Alex grinned. "Good. Then let's move quickly." They loaded essential supplies onto a hover vehicle. Zyra's natural agility and speed gave them an advantage. She navigated the tricky terrain with precision, flying ahead to scout paths, signaling safe routes with glowing flashes. Alex followed, adjusting the vehicle's path based on her guidance. "This route, clear," Zyra called out, colors pulsing with excitement and focus. Alex nodded, grateful for her input. "Good. Keep scanning ahead. We can't afford mistakes." As they approached the blocked path, Alex realized the challenge was greater than expected. A large boulder had fallen, partially blocking the narrow trail. Heavy rocks and debris littered the path, making it impossible for vehicles to pass safely. The hover vehicle would have to be guided carefully, and the supplies manually adjusted to avoid damage. "Zyra, we need to work together," Alex said, taking a deep breath. "I'll guide the vehicle. You handle the balance and lift of the cargo." She nodded, colors shifting to deep blue with flashes of determination. I will do my best." The task was grueling. Winds whipped through the canyon, making hover control difficult. Rocks shifted underfoot, threatening to destabilize the vehicle. Zyra hovered steadily beside Alex, her wings beating with precision, using bursts of air to lift lighter crates and hold them steady. Alex maneuvered the vehicle slowly, carefully adjusting speed and direction. At one point, a particularly heavy crate slipped from its position. Alex lunged, catching it just in time. But the effort threw him off balance. Zyra reacted instantly, flaring her wings to create a gust of lift, stabilizing both the crate and Alex. "You saved me," he exclaimed, breathing heavily. Zyra's colors flickered softly, a blush of pink mixed with green. "No, we saved each other," she said, voice steady. By late morning, they had successfully navigated the blocked path. Supplies were delivered to the neighboring settlement, medical kits and food reaching those in need. The settlers cheered, grateful for the timely aid. Zyra hovered proudly, colors pulsing softly, wings folding in satisfaction. Alex allowed himself a smile. "We did it. Together." Zyra tilted her head, glowing with quiet joy. "Yes. Together. I could not have done it alone." The return journey to the colony was calm, almost serene. Alex and Zyra moved through the familiar terrain, the sun casting long shadows across the red landscape. Alex noticed Zyra's colors shifting, now soft blues and gentle greens, showing her mating season frenzy had finally passed. "You did very well today," Alex said, glancing at her. "You kept calm, focused, and helped save the settlement. I'm impressed." Zyra's wings fluttered modestly, colors flickering with a mix of pride and shyness. I learned from you. You guided me, helped me." "Stay focused." Alex shook his head with a small grin. "You learned quickly. I just gave advice. You executed it perfectly." They landed back at the colony, tired but accomplished. Residents greeted them warmly, commenting on the successful delivery and the way Zyra had managed her duties so well. Alex felt a sense of pride both in the colony's teamwork and in Zyra's resilience. Later, as the day wound down, Alex and Zyra sat near the edge of the colony, looking out over the barren landscape. The sun was low, painting the sky with soft oranges and purples. For a moment, the world seemed peaceful, almost timeless. "Thank you, Alex," Zyra said softly, wings gently folding. "For helping me through the chaos, for trusting me, for everything." Alex smiled, feeling warmth spread through him. "You don't need to thank me, Zyra. You faced your challenges. I just helped guide you. But thank you, too, for trusting me, for staying focused, and for being, well, you." She blinked, colors flickering softly. I am me. Chaotic, perhaps, but capable." Alex laughed softly. "Yes, chaotic, capable, and pretty amazing." Zyra tilted her head, wings twitching slightly in amusement. "You think so?" I do," Alex replied firmly. "You're brave, smart, and even when things seem impossible, you don't give up. That's something humans, aliens, anyone can admire." Zyra's colors pulsed softly, warm and steady. She hovered closer, resting lightly beside him. I like working with you, Alex. Even when I cause chaos." Alex grinned, shaking his head. "I like working with you too. But maybe a little less chaos next time?" She giggled, a soft, musical sound that made Alex chuckle. I will try, but no promises." As the sky darkened and stars began to twinkle above the colony, Alex realized something profound. Humanity's strength wasn't just in technology, courage, or survival skills. It was in patience, understanding, and the willingness to face the unpredictable. Zyra had tested all of these qualities, and together, they had succeeded. He glanced at her, wings folding, colors calm, yet still shimmering with vitality. "You know," he said softly, "life on this colony, it's never boring with you around." Zyra tilted her head, a faint laugh in her melodic voice. "Never boring. Yes. I like that, even with chaos, storms, or mating season." Alex nodded, feeling a sense of connection he hadn't expected. "And that is what makes us strong. Humans, aliens, everyone working together, facing challenges, surviving, and learning from each other." Zyra pulsed softly, her glowing colors reflecting the deepening night sky. "Together, yes. That is very good." They sat quietly for a while, watching the stars emerge one by one, the colony resting peacefully after a long day. Alex felt a sense of satisfaction and pride both in the day's work and in the bond he had formed with Zyra. For the first time, he realized that chaos, unpredictability, and even biological quirks weren't just obstacles. They were opportunities. Opportunities to learn, adapt, and grow. Opportunities to show compassion, courage, and ingenuity. And most importantly, opportunities to form unexpected bonds that could make life richer, brighter, and more meaningful. As the first moon of the planet rose in the distance, casting a soft silver glow over the settlement, Alex leaned back and smiled. Zyra hovered beside him, calm and steady, her wings folded in gentle rest. "Tomorrow," Alex said softly, "we'll face new challenges. Maybe storms, maybe deliveries, maybe chaos. But we'll handle it. Together." Zyra's colors flickered warmly. "Together, yes. I am ready." And in that quiet moment, Alex realized the truth of HFY humanity. Yeah. It wasn't just about surviving or conquering. It was about courage, patience, adaptation, and compassion. It was about standing by each other in the face of chaos, finding strength in cooperation, and celebrating the small victories along the way. With Zyra at his side, Alex knew that life on the colony would never be dull, and he wouldn't have it any other way. The day had been long, the challenges intense, and the chaos overwhelming at times, but in the end, they had succeeded. They had grown stronger, learned more, and formed a bond that would carry them through whatever the future held. And as the stars twinkled above, the colony rested in peace, ready to face whatever came next, confident that humanity and a few remarkable aliens would always rise to the occasion.